in the seemingly tranquil, tight-knit community of Circleville, Ohio, a sinister campaign of terror began to unfold in the late 1970s. It started subtly with anonymous letters containing intimate details about local residents, but it quickly escalated into a chilling psychological torment that would ultimately lead to a mysterious death, a wrongful conviction, and an enduring enigma that haunts the quiet town to this day. This is the unsettling story of the Circleville Letters, a case of unseen eyes, shattered lives, and a phantom tormentor who may still walk free. The primary target of these disturbing letters was Mary Gillespie, a bus driver for the local school district. In 1976, Mary began receiving handwritten notes accusing her of having an affair with a high-ranking school official, Gordon Massey. The letters were unnervingly precise, detailing private encounters and private thoughts. Mary was initially bewildered, then deeply disturbed. She knew nothing of these accusations, and her marriage was suffering under the strain of the anonymous attacks. But the nightmare didn't stop with Mary. Soon, other residents of Circleville began receiving letters. Mary's husband, Ron Gillespie, also received them, as did various family members, neighbors, and even school officials. The letters were sent from different cities in Ohio, postmarked from various locations, suggesting the sender was mobile or highly cunning. They revealed intimate knowledge of personal lives, hidden secrets, and private conversations, indicating the sender was someone deeply embedded in the community or meticulously gathering information. The writing style was often crude, with misspellings and aggressive language, but always chillingly effective. The terror escalated dramatically in August 1977. Ron Gillespie, already driven to distraction by the relentless accusations against his wife, received a particularly menacing letter threatening him and his family. Fueled by anger and desperation, Ron, armed with a gun, reportedly drove into an isolated area looking for the sender. He told friends he knew who it was. Tragically, Ron was found dead in his truck that night, having apparently crashed into a tree. His gun had been fired once. The official ruling was an accidental death, possibly due to alcohol impairment. However, many, including Mary, suspected foul play. Was Ron silenced? Did he find his tormentor? The questions began to mount. The letters continued even after Ron's death. Now, they taunted Mary directly about Ron's demise, hinting at knowledge only the killer would possess. The anonymous writers seemed to revel in the chaos they created, their control over the lives of Circleville residents growing with each menacing delivery. The town was gripped by paranoia, as no one knew who could be sending these letters, or if they were safe. The investigation, led by local authorities, struggled to identify the elusive writer. Without DNA evidence, which was not readily available in the 1970s, or fingerprints, and with the letters coming from multiple locations, tracing the sender was a monumental task. Suspicion often fell on those who seemed different or who had minor disputes with the victims. Then a crucial break, or so it seemed, emerged. In February 1983, a device was found on a homemade pen-down trap in Mary Gillespie's mailbox, a .22 caliber, pistol rigged to fire when the mail slot was opened. It was a booby-trap, clearly intended to harm or kill. Police analyzed the device and traced the gun to a local man, Paul Freshour, who was Mary Gillespie's brother-in-law and Ron Gillespie's former brother-in-law. Freshour claimed the gun had been stolen from him years ago. Despite his denials and the lack of direct evidence linking him to the letters, Freshour was arrested and charged with attempted murder for the booby-trap mailbox. The prosecution argued that Freshour was the Circleville letter writer, citing his alleged motive a dispute with the Gillespies and the discovery of the trap. Key evidence included testimony that Freshour's handwriting might match some of the letters, though this was disputed by forensic experts, and his perceived strange behavior. In 1984, Paul Freshour was convicted and sentenced to 10 to 25 years in prison. Many believed the case was closed, the anonymous tormentor finally identified. But the nightmare of the Circleville Letters was far from over. While Paul Freshour was incarcerated, the letters continued to arrive. They were sent to Mary Gillespie, to the police, and to journalists, now explicitly stating that Freshour was innocent and that the true writer was still at large. One chilling letter, signed simply the Circleville Writer, arrived directly at the Ohio State Penitentiary, addressed to Freshour himself. This meant someone was still out there, taunting from the shadows, proving Freshour's innocence from behind bars. Freshour spent 10 years in prison, maintaining his innocence throughout. He was finally released in 1995, but the identity of the true Circleville writer remains officially unsolved. Even after his release, the anonymous communications reportedly continued sporadically for a time, ensuring the mystery lived on. The legacy of the Circleville Letters is one of deep injustice and enduring terror. A man served a decade in prison for a crime he may not have committed, while the true tormentor, a master manipulator who could evade detection for years, walked free. The case highlights the terrifying power of anonymous harassment, the paranoia it can inflict, and how it can destroy lives without direct physical contact. The mystery of the writer's identity, their motive, and their incredible ability to elude capture continues to baffle true crime enthusiasts and haunt the residents of Circleville. Who is this person? What was their ultimate goal? And did they ever truly stop watching? The answers remain buried, much like the secrets whispered in those sinister handwritten letters.